Right, start.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm Evan and I'm a media student. I'm doing a story on the future of Irish media, with some highly regarded people like yourself, and because of your expertise, we just want to ask you questions on media. So how much do you think Irish media has changed in the last 10 years?
I think it's changed in a couple of different regards. I think the first major significance has been the traditional media and how it's shrunk since 2008 in particular. So any printed newspaper would have halved its circulation in the last 8 years. The second one has been the digital and social revolution. So Facebook started in 2006 and we very much entered in the last couple of years what I would call the post-social age. So I think when you take the changes in digital and social media and the shrinking of traditional media, there's been massive change in the last 10 years.
Right, and how much do you think it will change in the next 10 years?
I think it'll change hugely. There's what I call the light switch effect. So, in the last number of years, I think we're going to see the failure of a lot of traditional media in the next couple of years. A number of national newspaper titles are probably at the baseline of viability right now. And so I think that's one thing that's going to happen.
Sorry, I might just ask you that question again, Jack. Sorry,
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
getting big business coming into you there. So go on and ask that question again, Evan, there.
How much do you think that media in Ireland will change in the next 10 years?
I think it'll change hugely. I think we had a period of about 50 years where there wasn't a huge amount of change, and I think in the next 10 years, there's two major things going to happen. I think the structure of the media will continue to change. I think newspapers, traditional printed newspapers, will go by the wayside, and I think pretty soon we will see a national daily newspaper fail in Ireland. I think the other thing that's going to happen is content creation and native content creation. So the best brands and the best organisations are now hiring journalists to create content for them, and I think that's what's going to happen at pace.
Your video's gone off there.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's great. So you think newspaper will fail or slowly die out in the next number of years?
Yeah, it was Marshall McLuhan who once said that the medium is the message, and I think like people are slowly beginning to realise that it's telling stories and getting the stories across to people that matter. It doesn't matter if it's on dead trees or if it's on the radio or if it's on video. It matters that you're connecting with an audience in a meaningful way, and I think the change that will continue at pace. One of the things that's really interesting is that people have got better at digital tools and social media because it's been around for about 10 years now. So I think the quality has improved. I think when we started out in 2006, 2007, there was a lot of good intention, but a lot of the stuff was really poor. I think the stuff is now approaching journalism standard, and there's a lot of brands and organisations producing content that people are willingly consuming because it's good and because it meets their needs. And I think we're going to see an awful lot more impressive content produced in the years to come.
Great, thanks very much, Jack. That was brilliant.
Cool.
Can I just ask as well, Jack, what about young people? I mean, like Evan, Jack would have worked in political machinations and various things like that. What about, Jack, your view regarding, your mum and dad and even yourself, and even when you were in your big job in the Dáil there, you would have been looking at traditional media, say like newspapers and radio and TV, as you say. What about the young people of today? How are they getting their news, and how will they get it in the years to come? Because, Facebook and Twitter are now areas for news, but how will they become aware of even what's going on in the world with the move away from traditional media for young people?
Well, I think young people will get their news in a digital form. One of the things that I have to accept this because it is a reality, but it never really bothered me when young people weren't reading newspapers. It does bother me that they don't listen to the radio, because I think the radio will be around in thousands. When we're all long gone, the radio will still be there. They seem to listen to commercial and music-driven radio now. They don't listen to radio. So I think young people will get their news on apps that get it through social forums, and they will consume the stuff that they want to consume. And I think, with fragmentation, people will tune into the channels, and it will be user generated, it will be professionally generated, but it'll be digitally driven. Young people now apologise. I recently did an interview with a guy who said, "My friends call me old man because I still buy a newspaper." So if you've got a product offering where the part of the audience feels inadequate for buying it, you know that's not going to last. And I think apps and digitally driven stories that resonate with people's lives and who help them feel better about themselves, they're the brands and the stories that are going to continue to succeed.
Jack, that's brilliant. Really appreciate your time. And
No worries.
You'll be on the Ballywire expense account list for a free kebab
Cool.
there sometime
Okay,
soon.
let me know when it goes up. Cool.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, Evan. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Talk to you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.